So let's take a look at the 8 pillars of wellness. So before we move to discuss what those are, who would like to state what they think are some of the 8 pillars of wellness in the chat box? We talked about mental toughness as a foundation. What would mental toughness, a growth mindset, what would that be an example of when it comes to wellness? What do you think that would be an example of? And while you're thinking about it, somebody says, will it be possible to get this presentation? Yes, we will make sure that you do get this. Absolutely. Anybody like to state what they think mental toughness, growth mindset, what kind of wellness would that be? Inner cleansing, healthy food habit, okay? So think about growth mindset, mental toughness. It's in here, it's in our mind, so it's mental. It's emotional, so it's our emotional and mental wellness. So we're gonna go to the next slide. So I know it's a little bit small here, but if you can, I'll read these off, so don't worry about if you can't see. Somebody put it into the chat box. So what we've discussed so far up to this point is emotional wellness. That's the growth mindset, that's operating from mental toughness. So it's emotional wellness that is the foundation to the other 8 pillars of wellness. So think about it. If we are listening to our inner champion, we're operating in the moment, we're not tied to expectations to outcomes, we feel calm, we feel more relaxed, we're looking at things happening for us, not to us. Do you think that that's going to have a positive impact on our physical well-being? You think that maybe we might choose to eat better in a healthier way? Somebody says surely. Let's see, we got somebody says yes. So you could see that when we can master one pillar, when we address that, they're like dominoes. They can impact the other pillars of wellness in a positive way. Whereas if we are operating from the fixed mindset, from fear, from limiting beliefs, and our confidence is low, and we're busy and not productive, we're procrastinating, and we're not making decisions, and we feel frustrated, angry, and stressed, what could that then lead to? Well, we might turn to comfort food. We might eat more fried food. We might eat more sweets because it gives us that feeling like it, to temporarily make us feel better. And that's not serving us in a physical way. That's not going to serve us financially. It's not going to serve us in any of the other 8 pillars of wellness. So they can impact either way, either positive or negative. So let's take a look at, we've already discussed emotional well-being. So physical well-being is how we take care of our physical bodies. The body is designed to be in motion. The body is not designed to be lying down, sitting all day. It's designed to be in motion. Doesn't mean that we can't sit or lie down. You got to sleep, you got to rest, you got to recharge your body. But it's not that we lay around all day. It allows us to move. And when we can move, those are things that are going to serve us. It's going to help us also emotionally as well. So these can reciprocate the other way. You go to the gym and you work out, it's going to have a positive impact on your emotional well-being as well. Doesn't mean that just that is going to make you emotionally more, in alignment. The meditation, the journaling, things that we've already talked about are going to, play a much more important role. But the physical activity definitely helps it, no question. And it's what we put into our bodies. Doesn't mean we can't splurge and eat some fun foods or fried foods or sweets once in a while. But it's not that we're engaging in it every day and it becomes a majority of the calories that we put in our bodies. It's that we're taking time to find moderation with the foods that best serve us. Now, the thing is, there's not one size fits all. Like, do diets work? That's up to you to decide. It comes down to, again, that everything in moderation, and that every person has different blood types. They have different, frame structures. There's male, there's female. There's different body types. So it's finding the foods that best serve you and the things that you can enjoy, but also there are foods that are going to be good for you to move you forward. So when we can find alignment with physical well-being, that will impact our emotional well-being and vice versa. The next wellness is social wellness. Social wellness is the relationship with yourself and other people. We talked about that earlier, about how are we communicating to ourselves? Is it from the inner critic, the inner champion, Is it from a place of being assertive rather than passive and aggressive, or both? So when we have the ability to address that, that's going to dictate how we show up in our relationships. If we are pleasers and enablers, then we're developing codependency in the relationship. We're enabling the people that we're interacting with to stay stuck. We're just doing. They're not taking responsibility for their own actions, their lives, their business. I'm not saying that you can't do for people. That's not what I'm stating here. It's that, but you're not in that mode of doing, that you can be the example and be a resource for others to do for themselves. That is an interdependent trait. So social wellness is comprised of three types of relationship. That's codependent, independent, and interdependent. Codependent, meaning that we are dependent upon other people for most things. Interdependent means that we take responsibility for our role and duties in any situation. The only difference with independent to interdependent is that we're not being the example or being a resource to share with others. We're just doing for ourselves, which is great because that's the first step. But if you're not being a role model to be that example to help other people find that within themselves, that's where interdependency will then trump independent. So the key with social wellness is how do we make the shift from being codependent to being interdependent? You owning your role, your duties, being responsible and accountable, and being an example and a resource for others to do through that. Just like children learn from what they observe in their parents, whether it's good or bad, it's the same thing with people. People learn subconsciously what they see other people are doing that help them to grow, that are seeing that, how it's leading them to better results in their lives and business. Another side of one of the 8 pillars of wellness is spiritual. Now, here's the thing that oftentimes people are out of alignment with this. People with strong faith will believe in their higher power. Now, whatever that religion is or whatever your higher power is, they have that. But here's the thing that often they overlook. They don't believe in themselves. They believe in their higher power, but they don't believe in themselves. See, energy is a two-way street. Just like there's positive, negative energy. It requires that if we are going to see improvement in our life, in our businesses, as leaders, not only do we have a strong faith, whatever that may be to you, but it's having strong faith for yourself. So everything that we talked about, mental toughness today and growth mindset plays an important role. Raise your level of confidence that you can then start to really believe in yourself, to accept yourself, that of the strengths you possess, the weaknesses that you possess, where you made mistakes and learned, that you don't have to be perfect, and that you can just, embrace the process to become, to do, and have more. These are the things that extraordinary leaders recognize when they look at spiritual wellness, the belief in themselves and their higher power, that they go hand in hand. Another pillar of wellness is financial. It's our dialogue with money. Many times people grow up in families where money is viewed in a negative way. Money doesn't grow on trees, or we're not like those other people across the street. Money is greed. People who have money are greedy, or people that have money are not nice. It depends on how we grew up. But nonetheless, that money is a good thing when we can see it in a different way. When we can learn to operate from a statement, I'd like if everybody can write this down. It's give without expectation, receive without resistance. When we can give without expectation to somebody or something, we're doing it from a place of empathy and kindness. That is an interdependent trait. We're not doing it from a place of pleasing, enabling people, because now we're giving them something because we're looking for their validation. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Again, expectations go unfulfilled. But when you give freely, no expectation, when it comes back to you, regardless of where it comes back, you receive without resistance. So when we have money and we can circulate it and give, I'm not saying that you just give to charities, but you could do that, but give to causes where people are going to accept responsibility to do something for themselves. And when they do that, the money comes back to you in other ways. And it's not just the money that you're trying to accumulate money. It's just circulating money that allows you to do things that bring you joy. Spend time with your family. Take vacations for memorable moments that you'll cherish for the rest of your life. So that learning how to give without expectation and receive without resistance is how we can find that alignment in our financial well-being. Changing that inner dialogue from looking at money as something bad to something that is good. It's just a form of energy that allows us to do things that bring us joy. Doesn't mean that we have to rely upon money to have joy. We can find joy, choosing joy just with nothing. I could choose joy just right now. I can choose happiness right now. But if there's certain things that certain hobbies you love to do that might require money, then you'll have that. And knowing that it will come back when you give without expectation and the ability to receive without resistance. So now we look at intellectual wellness. So just like we take care of our emotional well-being, our physical well-being, we take care of our minds. How are we taking care of our minds? Are we reading every day? Are we doing trivia? Are we doing puzzles? Are we having really meaningful conversations with people? These are the things that nurture and help us to grow. Being on social media all day or watching TV 5, 6, 7 hours a day, being on TikTok all day. These are the things that, not saying those are bad things, but saying to yourself, if I'm spending more time there because I need that dopamine high, that's not serving me, because that's all that's happening. That when we can look at what are the things that are going to allow us to grow intellectually. And as we age, we can, age in a way that we're still intact, that we still can think clearly. We can, absorb this knowledge and apply it and share it to help others do the same in their lives. So it's just like we take care of our bodies at the gym, we're taking care of our minds with books, with trivia, with puzzles, meaningful conversations, and so on. Yeah, it does mean you can't check social media, sure. And TikTok, it's fun, but not that we're getting consumed by it where it occupies most of our time. That means we're out of alignment.